Welcome back. Okay, so we're talking about system identification with full state measurements for control. And what I want to tell you about now is essentially how to use this modern Koopman operator framework. So Koopman with control. So the Koopman operator framework essentially says that if I have a rich enough set of output measurements, so maybe this is even bigger than just my full state x, maybe I augment this with nonlinear measurements of my system, x squared, x cubed, sine of x, arctangent of x, whatever. If I have a rich enough set of measurements, then I can embed my nonlinear dynamics into a linear framework, which is great because anytime I tell you that I can take a nonlinear system and make it look linear, you should be thinking, well, I can do optimal linear control using simple one-line MATLAB commands. I can do LQR, Kalman filtering, things like that. Okay, so that's kind of the promise of this Koopman with control, is that I can take strongly nonlinear dynamics and make them look linear if I find the right measurements y of my system. Okay, and then I can do any number of things in the control front. I can do linear control, I can do model predictive control once I have that system model. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few different flavors of Koopman with control. One of the things I like to do is think about eigenfunctions. So let's think about what an eigenfunction of the Koopman operator looks like. The idea here is what we're first going to do is we're going to characterize the unforced system with no input, with u equals 0. And we're going to find that there are these eigenfunctions phi of x. So these are special measurements. You can think of these are really, really good measurements of your system that you can take phi of x so that ddt of phi is purely linear. It's lambda of phi of x. Okay? And we'll talk about this in another lecture series where essentially there are data-driven methods to discover these good measurement coordinates phi of x. But let's, for now, assume that we have some of these coordinates. So a good example is if I have a conservative system, then phi of x could be the Hamiltonian, the total conserved energy. And then ddt of the Hamiltonian is 0 times the Hamiltonian. It doesn't change in time because it's conserved. So any conserved quantity is a Koopman eigenfunction with lambda equals 0, for example. And we're going to assume that we had some dynamical system x dot equals f of x plus bu. Now I've made this, I've split the system so that I have some nonlinear unforced dynamics and then I have this additive linear control. You could do this in the more general case where you have a full-blown nonlinear system, but I think this is easier to understand how Koopman with control works in this case. So I've got x dot equals f of x plus bu. And now what I can do is I can chain rule this part of my ddt of phi of x. And what I end up getting is ddt phi equals the gradient of phi, grad phi, and that's gradient with respect to x, dotted into my time derivative x dot. Dotted, so it's grad phi times ddt of x. That's just the chain rule. And if I do that, I get grad phi dotted into this right-hand side, into f of x plus bu. But remember, if I just took my unforced dynamics, then ddt of phi would equal grad phi dot f of x, and this would equal lambda phi. So I can take this part and replace it with lambda phi. And I get ddt of phi equals lambda phi plus grad phi dotted with b times u. Okay, so essentially this is my my control system, or sorry, my state dynamics. Phi dot equals lambda phi. This is purely linear in the state, where now the state is phi, and now this is my plus control. Okay, and so this is essentially this is called a state-dependent actuation. Because now this grad phi dot b, this is a function of x, because grad phi is a function of x, and when I dot it into b, it's a function of x. But essentially what that means is just that my new b vector is a function of state space. Okay? So I have actual linear dynamics, I still have linear dynamics in my eigenfunction coordinates, but now the actuation, it affects that eigenfunction differently depending on what x is. And so this is work done by Kaiser. So Kaiser, Nathan Kutz, and myself. So Kaiser et al. This is a 2017 archive paper by Ulrike, Nathan, and myself. So you can read more about the details. But essentially what she showed is that if you can identify these eigenfunctions, these Koopman eigenfunctions phi, you can do control directly in these eigenfunction coordinates using this equation here and what's known as a state-dependent Riccati equation. So state-dependent Riccati, and I never know how to spell Riccati equation. And if you recall, the Riccati equation is what we used in linear quadratic regulators and Kalman filters. And so essentially, this is just a minor modification of the LQR control if you have this state-dependent actuation B. So that's what Ulrike showed, that for lots and lots of systems, if you can find these phi using data, kind of data-driven regression to find these good coordinates, you can do control directly in these good coordinates. Okay? And this is actually quite useful because in many systems of interest, like I said, these might be Hamiltonian systems or any system with a conserved quantity. You can essentially design an optimal control law to steer that conserved quantity. So, you know, we often think about things in terms of the state space. So if I have a pendulum on a cart, I'm thinking about trying to stabilize it by making theta and theta dot equal to 0, for example. But what you might also consider is that that system has a total energy, and maybe what I want to do is I want to increase the energy up to the vertical position and then stabilize that. So sometimes these eigenfunction coordinates like total energy or conserved angular momentum can actually be a better coordinate system to write your control law in than the original state space. And you can get optimal nonlinear controllers using basic modifications of the standard LQR Riccati equation methods. Okay? So that's what Ulrike showed, very powerful method. And that's one of these kind of new methods where we take system ID using Koopman and we modify it to take into account this actuation and control, this plus BU. Other people in the community have taken a different path. So instead of doing control directly in eigenfunctions, what a lot of people do is essentially so kind of this alternative route is I could take a big measurement vector y. So this is even bigger than my state. Maybe it has nonlinear measurements of my state. And I could do yk plus 1 equals some big Koopman operator times yk plus some big b operator times uk. And so essentially what you can do is run that DMD with control algorithm on this augmented measurement vector. And that's called extended DMD. So it would be extended DMD if I didn't have control. When I add control, it's called extended DMD with control, eDMDC. And this is work done by Matt Williams and Clancy Rowley and others to essentially get these system models directly from data for this K and this B. And then you can use this either for linear control or for model predictive control. So Milan Korda and Igor Mezic recently wrote a paper essentially doing this eDMD with control on these big measurement vectors y, and then using those models directly for model predictive control, which was also quite effective. Okay, so those are two broad categories of ways that you can interpret Koopman with control. One of them is to essentially build a model on all of your augmented measurements, this big K model, and then do dynamic mode decomposition with control to identify that from data and use model predictive control. Or you can essentially try to discover these eigenfunctions of the Koopman operator directly. I probably should have mentioned that this phi is an eigenfunction of this Koopman operator. So k phi equals lambda phi. So these are directly eigenfunctions of this Koopman operator. And then instead of controlling all of these directions in y, I can hone in on just the eigenfunctions of interest that I want to control, like total angular momentum, total energy, and then you can do that using this state-dependent Riccati equation. Okay, thank you.